I originally had a completely different plan for this video. I was gonna show off like a ton of like diverse new stages and a whole like new intro and stuff. But before I was going to make that video, graveyardStuffer and Zimbal at Mugen Archive dumped both like two giant packs of stages. I usually try to do like 40 stages plus any new stages that have dropped. Yeah, I go like 40 down the list, and then like if anybody's posted any new stuff, I also put those in the video. But Zimbal and graveyardStuffer dropped enough stages in their packs to more than make up for the like 40 plus standard. So I had to make a decision, make a, like an extra long video or split what I wanted to do into two videos. I even considered, yeah, just making an extra long video and then giving a timestamp to jump past the Zimbal and graveyardStuffer set. But that kind of felt like disrespectful to like graveyardStuffer and Zimbal to say just like skip over their content. Yeah, like I don't want to do that. Now, if graveyardStuffer and Zimbal do see this video, I'm gonna be pretty like picking apart your stages like a lot, but don't take it personal. We were all beginners once. This is gonna feel like Mugen class to some extent. Anybody else that's watching the video, you know, the main amount of people, I'll still show off the stages and show you what exists or what's out there, so to speak, which is what these videos tend to do. For that aspect as well, I'll be doing the drive-by. I won't talk about scaling too much in this set because it's kind of hard to tell on any of these backgrounds what the scaling should be. But I will just be sticking to the mistakes and giving tips on how to have improved pretty much all of these. And I don't think there's a single good stage in the bunch. But like I said, don't take it personally. We were all rookies once. Okay, the first one is he made a bunch of stages based on the myhouse Doom mod. There's a video by like the YouTuber Power Pack. If you want to watch that, it goes into what myhouse is. It's kind of like a what do they call it? Unfiction, or like the successor to creepypastas. But yeah, go watch that Power Pack video if you have no clue what myhouse is. But anyway, I'll stick to the stages. I'll stick to mistakes and not try to be too like heavy on all of them. But there is a lot to get through, and I'm probably going to complain about every one of them. Okay, first stage, my house. Now, this is probably one of the better ones in this pack. But, God, he had a bunch of comments when he was posting them individually before they got posted into a pack, and I can't remember everything he said. But I think both of them like were using the like stage creator tool instead of using fighter factor properly. Don't do that. Throw that stage creator tool in the garbage. It's just gonna hold you back and make your content really bad. Go get fighter factory, whatever fighter factory there is. Okay, so the main thing in here is, first off, I think one of them said, I'm sorry, I can't remember which one was which, that, they chose to go with the lower res image. No, don't do that. Go for the high res image every time. Unless, you don't have to go to, like, the extremes and get, like, a 10 meg image or something. But, go with what you can get practical, or, like, as big as you can while still staying with 8-bit if you're worried about that. Because, like, it really pays off to put the extra effort in. Now, if you're worried about like scaling or something, I can teach you how to fix that. It's all about local coordinates and the numbers, but that's a longer explanation. But okay, so first off on this one, you can see that there's a reflection on the ground, and this is a very bad place to have put a reflection. There's grass, you don't reflect on grass. Reflection should be only used on crystal clear floors, and also floors that don't have any kind of noticeable foreground object or anything that, like, if it's like you're standing on a platform and then it like goes off a cliff off the side of the platform, the reflection is going to look wrong because Mugen can't account for that really. So yeah, only use reflection sparingly, otherwise use shadow all the time. Alright, and try to match the angle of the shadows in the stage too. So if this, like, see, the shadows are going sort of this way. Actually, that's kind of the garage shadows. It's hard to tell, there isn't many shadows outside, but let's say the shadows are pointing down, then your shadow should point down. If you see the shadows in the background image pointing the other way, you tilt your characters up the shadow. Also, you can, like, gauge the length of the shadow to see if, like, you know, kind of be consistent with the image. Okay, but yeah, first thing is with this one, just remove the reflection. Pretty simple on this one. Try to get a higher res image. This is airport from my house. And you can see the first problem right off the bat. Okay, so the stage needs to be brought down. You need to go into, since I know you're rookies, so you need to go into your fighter factory and go to, like, the, I'll put it on the screen, like the start code in, like, the image, and just move that down like you'll put a positive value to bring it down. And then you'll adjust your Z offset to move your characters down after you've got the image touching the bottom. And if you're having problems with the image not being big enough to hit the top and the bottom at once, even though we can clearly see it can on this, you'll just, once again, get a higher res image. Like, clearly we're walking on the wall here. You've totally screwed that up. Yeah, so that's... No, this one doesn't work. And I said I wouldn't talk about the scale, but we can tell that these chairs are way too small, so we need the stage to be bigger, actually, than it is. Okay, we got Brutalist House. We're walking into the wall here, just barely. You need to bring your Z offset down. This one's pretty passable, it just needs the Z offset brought down. Okay, we got yard from my house. Once again, the whole picture needs to be brought down again. Okay, also, you see this grass here, and this tree, but the tree and the grass are different. Okay, the tree, this is why you want a better image as you can to get, like, higher res, because, like, this looks really bad, and, like, for all I know, it looks that bad in the game, and that's not your fault at all. But, yeah, try to get, like, a more high-res image and then shrink the image using local coordinates. You also, with this foreground object here, you want to cut it out of the picture in, like, a paint program, and then have it, like, overlay, so, like, the grass is overneath Kung Fu Mugen here. You'll have to put your, like, layer equals 1 on the grass, and to make sure it covers Kung Fu Man. Yeah, just, yeah, over here too, this has to be brought down. Yeah. It's pretty basic besides that, but you can't have this big black void, it's just a giant no-no. Daycare from my house. Once again, the picture is going to have to be brought down. And since this wall over here is so low, you're going to have to move the Z offset when you do fix this, if you do fix this. Like, you're going to have to bring these characters down so they're, like, almost on the complete bottom of the screen, because otherwise they're going to walk into this wall. So you got to fix that up. 5.5 minute hallway from my house. Now this one basically works. Still kind of feels like your character should have some kind of shadowing, but your main, I would still also advise bringing the Z offset down, but this one basically works. You can't even really tell that it's that low of res. So, this one's okay. Okay, this one's really bad. Okay, Mirror World. I really hope this is a 1.0 to 1.1 error, because otherwise, I'm gonna have to guess that you didn't even test the stage out before you put this out. And that's, like, the worst thing you could do. Were you trying to put some kind of lighting effect? I don't know how you did this. Like, what happened? I don't even think I really need to even say anything, do I? You need to remove what's this graphic of the white block. Like, I don't even know what else might be wrong. Okay, fake beach from my house. Now, if any stage in this is going to have a reflection, this is a good one to put it on. Because we can see that the stage itself is reflecting that prop beach in the background. This pretty much works. It could really benefit from having a higher res image so there'd be less pixelation along these borders. But otherwise, this one mostly works, so you can see that little line is broken. And if I was you, I'd go into the pixel art and like reconnect this line. That's what is this? Is this holding the table up? What is this? A table leg? I can't really tell, but it still looks off. But yeah, just higher res. Okay, air garage from my house. And immediately we're walking into the walls. So we need to move the Z offset down. And I feel like since there's noticeable shadowing on this one, this is a stage where the characters should have shadowing as well. And you can also control the density of shadow in Mugen, so you know, just try to match the density. So like, if this is like this amount of gray over the gray over here, try to make the density of Tom Cruise Man's shadow match the density of this shadow. And yeah, it'll look much nicer if you do that. That's my advice for this one. Okay, this is road from my house. The exposed voyage just gets bigger and bigger. You attempted an animation in this, but everything went wrong with the palette or something. Yeah, it looks like one of the dark colors or something that you tried to grab. There's two things you could have done here, which is make sure like the frame with the most colors in it is the color you adapt the palette to and not two different palettes. But the other thing you could have done, if you just want this car to be animated, is just cut out around the car and then overlap the cutout portion of the car over the top of it. So only that like one little block is animated, but it's so seamless that you can't tell. But there's no reason for like the whole area to be lit up or having two different frames. That's just kind of like an excessive amount of image if you're worried about image size, which maybe you were if you were trying to get all these low-res image. But yeah, move the picture down. Make sure these black holes aren't happening. Don't know what to say besides that. We got empty house from my house. Exposed void at the bottom, exposed void at the left and right. And the low res is really bringing this picture down. Like, if you didn't know that that was a house sign, like a for sale sign for the house or a realty sign, you would have no idea. Perhaps if you wanted to feature that sign, you should get like noticeably closer to it before you took the screenshot. I don't know, like, you need to, okay, so to fix this, you got to go into bound left and bound right, and tighten that up. It's in the camera section, not the player bound, which is a completely different thing. So, yeah, just move the image down, tighten up your bound left and bound right. Okay, this is, it's S-hell. You attempted an animation again. But the exposed void below the stage is as bad as ever. At least the bound left and bound right seem to be okay. And also, nothing else is seemingly blinking around here. It's just focused, though. These little dark pixels, I don't know if that's accurate to the game, but it definitely would look better if you painted this like dark brown over the black pixels here. Yeah, you can touch it up. You don't have to go with what's necessarily accurate if it just looks wrong in the thing. But yeah, just move the picture down. Yeah, this one I like appreciate the attempt of the animation. I mean, there's a lot I could do a lot worse. This is beach from my house. Well, there's no shadows cast by anything in the stage, so if there's going to be a stage without shadows, this kind of works. In fact, this one kind of just works, period. Though, I mean, I guess you could say the scaling is off if you consider they walking to the dog. I don't know. It's mostly fine. Not much to say about this one. It's just kind of an ugly image. Okay, that should have been the last of the My House stages. We're now moving on to Zimbal's Doom stages. This mostly works, it just really needs a higher res image. Also, it has frozen animation problems. Now, it's been a while since I saw Doom, but if you have a flame, that's one of those things that really draws the eye as a frozen animation. Uh, One method you could use here if you're stuck with this low res, which I really hope you can get a higher res period, is just keep taking screenshots until you got all the frames you need of the flames. So yeah, just print screen, print screen, print screen until you have enough frames that fake an animation or fake motion on the flames. It's way better if you do that. Okay, I forgot to mention on this one, there's also exposed void at the top. If you jump really high here, there's quite a lot of it. Now, it's possible since I had to jump so high that he didn't even realize he had exposed void up there. You're going to have to adjust the bound high. Now, if you want to check if something has exposed void, there's basically two easy methods to do. Okay, so method one for checking exposed void is to take Kung Fu Man and just do this super here. And then look at the top of the screen to see if anything black got exposed. And then just keep reducing your bound high until it doesn't happen anymore. You can't see any. I would try to get as much as the image as possible. If you can find the exact pixel that is the first pixel of exposed void, if you can get it exact, that's the best you can do. Though if you just shave it a couple 2 to 3, it's not that big a deal. Most people won't know that 2 to 3 pixels are missing from your picture. But I mean, ideally you want to aim for perfection. Now the second method for checking for exposed void is to take a dummy character and put a crap ton of air jumps on them in their coding. I've taken my old Gandhi here and I put something crazy like 30 air jumps on him. So I can just keep jumping and jumping and jumping until I hit finally the bound high limit. So yeah, if you have a character or a dummy you don't give a crap about, you can just change them to have a crap ton of air jumps to check your exposed void. Okay, we got Wolfenstein. This might have a scaling issue. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, that BFG is pretty B, if you know what I mean. So, once again, there's exposed void at the top. The res on it doesn't look too bad, actually. The floor's pretty smooth and not grainy looking. Did you, blur that out with a thing, or it was just naturally come that way? Okay, this is Icon of Sin from Doom 2. And, so, I notice on a lot of your stages you're, overlooking a pit from a platform. You can take advantage of that and, cut this back, cut just above this line here, and have the background art move on a slightly lower delta than 1. Yeah, you could have the floor should always be 1-1. If it's not 1-1, you're going to cause sliding and sinking. And if you try to, if some reason it's still causing sliding and sinking at 1-1, then you've screwed up some other piece of code. Probably the high res equals 1 code. But okay, so first off, the stage has thing at the top. Okay, but anyway, cut this off and then put it at the background here, the back layer, the background of the background, onto 0.98 or 0.97 or something like that. So when you're walking left and right, it creates the illusion of distance for the thing in the background. It'll look noticeably better like that. Just so you know if you didn't think of that already. The Living End. Once again, we jump up real high, there's exposed void. And we could once again take advantage of the platform being disconnected from the background. I can see right here that it's not a completely straight line, but you can cheese this a little by shaving off a couple pixels off the top and then bringing down the background a couple pixels so it matches perfectly like a straight line, and then do that delta trick I talked about in the last stage. Okay, we got the Spirit World. Once again, the same bound high problem, though not as extreme as some of the others. Also, if we walk over here, I'm walking off onto this like crevice just ever so slightly, so the Z offset should be brought down. Now the top of the stage isn't actually having exposed void on this one, but now the bottom of the stage does, so need to move the picture down some. And that delta trick would still be nice. There's not too much wrong with this one from like at least a layman's view of it. I don't even know what I'm looking at half the time. Okay, this is the abandoned mines. And once again, we got exposed void at the top. Delta would help. Okay, this is Bloodfalls. Once again, exposed void at the top. Now, you see this Bloodfall? Anything that immediately draws the user's eye to something that should be animated, like your brain like instinctively knows that this should be like an animated texture. Unless I'm having a giant brain fart and it's not actually animated in Doom, but I kind of doubt that. But yeah, like it really helps to have the animation. So I don't know how you got these pictures, but like if taking print screen and print screen and print screen and print screen until you get enough frames for it to look nice is what you have to do. Because every time you have a frozen animation, it no longer looks like your characters are in the location. It just looks like they're walking on a picture. And it like the worst thing you can do is have like a people running around in mid-stride frozen in the background. That like really makes it look like you're just walking on a portrait instead of like the illusion of being there. But yeah, just make sure to get as much animation in your stages as possible. It really helps. Okay, we got the chasm. Once again, exposed void at the top. Now, there isn't too much to say about this one, except this right here. For all I know, this is a genuine weirdness to the stage, but you always want to like do it like a once over on your stage to see if there's like any weird pixel stuff going on, like a stray pixel, because your eyes are immediately drawn to this black dot, and you don't want your eyes drawn to like bad art. Like it's kind of like in a movie where you don't want to think about the cameraman. Yeah, like if you have to think about the camera, if you have to think about the dot in the art, then like it breaks the illusion. Okay, we got barrels of fun. Like there might be a scaling issue, but I just don't know. I don't know how big a barrel is to compare to a human in Doom. We've got the exposed void at the top. But other than that, this one's not too bad. I mean, nothing in the like background is casting a shadow, so it's not really that important to give our characters shadows. It's fine, I guess. Here we got the catacombs. Once again, there's exposed void at the top. That delta trick will not work here. You would have to like imagine what would fill in the blanks. And since that would be really hard to do and not worth the effort, so I mean, still if this like water's animated, you could always improve it by getting as many extra animation frames as possible. But this one's mostly just the exposed void at the top. Okay, we got Nirvana. Exposed void at the top. I mean, there's not too much I can say after a while. Okay, we got Gotcha. Exposed void at the top. And these flames desperately need to be animated. Let's do a little back and forth and then an exit. Okay, this is the citadel. Exposed void at the top. Man, I really hope it's possible to get a better high-res image of that sky. It looks really bad. Okay, that's that one. Okay, we got the courtyard. And there's exposed void at the top on a lot of it. Tenements. Exposed void at the top. Suburbs. Exposed void. Industrial zone. Exposed void. The inmost dens. Downtown. What is that thing? Once again, exposed void. The factory. I can tell there's flames in the background. And exposed void. O of destruction. Man, this is gonna be like the most boring episode for most people. Exposed void. Refueling base. Exposed void. The pit. Tricks and traps. Exposed void, a lot of it. Dead simple. Is this thing supposed to be animated? It's really gross looking. Anyway, there's exposed void. The crusher. And exposed void up there, of course. The waste tunnels. Now, this is the one of the other stages that you can't pull the delta trick on. It is clearly attached here, so don't even try it. Unless you want to clip off the stage before that happens, then you could fake it, but you might as well include the edge. There's also exposed void at the top, because of course there is. Okay, the focus. I'm clearly walking on this yellow object. I think it's a key card. Of course, there's exposed void at the top. You need to adjust your Z offset. If you're using a tool just to auto-generate the stages, you really, like I said earlier in the video, you need to get Fighter Factory and just throw that tool in the garbage. The gauntlet, spelled wrong. Okay, there is a little extra to say about this one besides the flames. Okay, you see how with the floor, it's like bleeding in with this other platform, which I assume is like a little bit lower, but I could be wrong. Is this actually connected? This is what I get for not knowing Doom enough. But if this isn't meant to be connected, then you gotta make sure like it's a different color. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong here. Anyway, exposed void at the top. Those flames really need to be animated, otherwise they draw the eye. Okay, that last stage I showed off was actually the last one of his Doom stages. But my final comments to Zimbal here would be, use this stage right here as practice. If you can make this stage look good with the animation and get rid of the bound high, I think you will have leveled up a little bit. What you want to keep in mind is basically like a bit of ambition makes all the difference. The more care you put in, the more people will care about your work. Also, for graveyardStuffer and Zimbal, I'm willing to help you learn whatever you need to if you really want to keep doing this. I will teach you any stage coding short of parallax and like weird velocity stuff. I can teach you the like basics easily. That goes for any other viewer too, really. Like, I'll help you out. I don't care. It's better than me like fixing up all your stuff afterwards if you could just like, know how to do it yourself from the get-go. Well, anyway, that's it for this video. I hope it wasn't too boring for everyone.